All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the earnings stream. I do this every Wednesday, kind of pick out a couple popular tickers that I think are popular for the day and go over some previous earnings data. The two we're going to go over today is Cisco, ticker symbol CSCO, and then GOEV, which is ticker symbol GOEV. Just taking a quick peek here. Cisco reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, and GOEV reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern as well. So we got a couple minutes to burn here before the actual data comes out. I'm going to have my other screen pulled up so when the earnings data does come out, I can post that for everybody. Got a bunch of people joining us on Twitter and YouTube, almost up to 100 people in there. Got a lot of people, over 30 people in the Discord already tuning in. Let me just get everything ready to rock and roll. Mainly interested in Cisco's earnings data. So that's the one that I'm going to be watching personally. But for any people that are trading GOEV, we'll obviously get their data as well. And I'll post that for everybody. Forecasts or consensus EPS for Cisco is 85 cents. Forecast revenue 13.51 billion. So we'll see what they actually come in at and see what the price reaction is to that. And then look at some trades I've been doing. I have an open trade on the video right now, so we'll go over that after we get the earnings reaction to Cisco and GOEV. All right, cool. So again, welcome everyone. Platinum, Alan, Alexi, Lord Jelly, Zeb, Designer, Metal Win, P did it, Farouk, Mastermind, it's Georgie, RJ. Oh, we got a ton of people in here. Cliffhanger, Sabrina, the Big Bull Bear. Hey, we could be brothers.
Hey, Bull, if you're saying anything, dear, we cannot hear you.
Oh, okay.
Try leaving and coming back.
Okay, can y'all hear me now? Everyone should be able to hear me. Y'all might have to mess with your settings. I don't think it's on my end because I'm actually blinking. My audio is working just fine. If y'all can just let me know if you can hear me. Anyone else?
Y'all hear me? Okay, good.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going because I'm live on YouTube here. There's about 200 people.
Earlier, he had to like leave and come back. Try doing that, Bull.
Okay, let me just do this. Sorry, everyone on Discord. I guess there's some tech problems in the Discord here, so sorry for all the YouTube and Twitter people. Let me try and come back in here. Okay, can everyone hear me now?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, so looks like we're rocking and rolling. Sorry for the delay. So anyways, forecast EPS on Cisco is 85 cents. Forecast revenue 13.51 billion. Got a ton of people tuning in today. Now forecast on GOEV, which is GOEV, negative 0.77. So we'll see what they come in at there. Forecast is obviously not good. Forecast revenue 1.99 million. So we'll see what's up with that. 4:03 p.m. So we still got okay, cool. Bunch of people answering that they can hear me loud and clear on YouTube. So yeah, it must definitely be Discord related. We'll figure that out later. It's no problem. Quick look at the heat map. Google took a good hit today. Apple up, Microsoft up, Nvidia up, just barely, but they're up. Healthcare, Lilly was up in the healthcare sector. Financial services, banks, credit services, that kind of thing. They were nice and green today. Tesla down today. Something to keep note there for anyone following Tesla. Just looking at the sector information. Financials were on top today. Let me just refresh this, make sure it updated everything. Yeah, financials, number one sector today, followed by energy and tech, and to round out third place there. At the bottom, consumer discretionary and communication services, they were red. All the other sectors basically green though, so not a bad day at all. Just looking at the major indexes, S&P was green, NASDAQ slightly green, the Dow was green, VIX back down to 16. Can you believe that? So VIX was super high recently. Shoot, I think it was 30s, 40s, and 50s at one point. VIX kind of settling down now, so that's good. 10-year yield was red today. A lot of times we see the yield red. The stocks will be green. Dollar was basically flat though, so we always like to watch that. All right, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Looks like Cisco's data is out. Getting an initial bullish reaction. I mean, it wicked up to about 47, came right back down. So seeing some volatility here. Let me refresh my other screen on Cisco and see if we get this data. Let's see. Okay, don't have the data yet, but I should get it any minute. Definitely getting a positive reaction on Cisco. So far looking bullish. We'll see if this ends up being the real move, or is it going to reverse? So we'll see. Should be any minute now to kind of confirm this. All right, let me scroll down here. Okay. All right, so everyone's just kind of patiently waiting here. I would check Webull, but they post their news kind of later than everybody else. So I'm just going to continue looking at my my other source over here on the right. Let me put Cisco right here. Just look at the order book. Okay, looks like I had an old Fibonacci on there. Let's see what that was all about. Okay, I see it. All right. So we do have a buy side imbalance on Cisco on the order book and after hours, so that's nice to see. Buyers are definitely beating up the sellers right now. It's almost hit 48 bucks, $47.90. So we'll see if it can keep the gains in after hours, or does it start retracing? I got my eye on it. Let me actually zoom out and get rid of this Fibonacci real quick. There we go. Boom. Okay, let me go back intraday. All right, I'm gonna go to 1 minute chart and take it with a grain of salt, but this is what we're working with for the earnings data just now being released. So let me go back to here. Okay, a bunch of people on Twitter saying it's a party. All right, we got some solid data here. I mean, at least the initial figures. Let me just kind of maximize this. So Cisco EPS expected 85 cents, just like we were talking about. Came in at 0.87, so they beat by a little bit. Pretty good there. So got a good beat. Revenue forecast was 13.54 billion. Came in at 13.64 billion. So double beat on Cisco. I'll give it a couple more minutes to see if I can get some forward guidance and some more info. But this thing looks like it's going. I mean, it looks like it's going to keep going, should I say? Just broke over 48. The stock closed at $45.44. So, sitting at over a 5% gain in after hours right now, up almost $3 a share, about $2.50. So we'll see. I'm just going to keep my eye on the candlesticks. If it starts pulling back a little bit, we'll figure out where 25% retrace is and maybe look at that level for a bounce. Let me go back here and refresh my other screen to see if I can get some forward guidance. Now, just a little bit of a stat here. Cisco is down 16% over the past 12 months going into this earnings. It's just something to keep note because the triple Qs, they're up 26%. So it's just something to keep note there and to compare. Let me go back to Discord, make sure I didn't miss any questions on there. Looks like I'm good on YouTube and everything. All right, so let's go here. And now, before going into the earnings, they were paying a 3% dividend, Cisco was. So analysts did expect earnings and revenue to fall for the third straight quarter, but we can kind of compare that to the financial sheet over here, income statement, basically net income. Let's go to quarterly. So net income, 1.89 million. Okay, and then 2.63 million. So it looks like it did drop a little bit. So they were kind of right about that. Just want to see the debt to asset ratio. Okay, 62%. So that's not bad actually. Let's see here. Cisco has already forecast fiscal 2025 revenue growth in low to mid single digit growth. It has forecast revenue growth of 4% to 6% in fiscal year 2026 and 2027. So Cisco aims to increase recurring revenue from subscriptions, subscription-based software and services, and shift away from its core business of selling computer network switches and routers. So that was kind of their bread and butter for a while there. Outlook for Cisco stock depends on spending trends for cloud computing. So investors are definitely wanting to know that information. Cloud computing infrastructure, as well as corporate and telecom networks. So that's going to be the info investors are wanting to see, is the spending trends for those areas. All right, let me go back another screen here and just refresh. And now let me go to Canoe, GOEV, because that was the other one. They're really not moving. So let me just see, because their earnings now. Earnings Whispers said it was 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Yep. So they did announce. Okay. So they announced second quarter 2024 results. Let's see if TradingView gives me anything. Okay. Yeah, we got some good Canoe data here, but just keep note that that the stock's not even moving right now. So that's interesting. Let me just refresh this order book. I mean, we do got a buy side imbalance here in after hours, but the GOEV is just kind of spotty price action. It's really not doing anything, but wouldn't hurt to kind of see what some of their results were. So quarterly revenue, 605,000. Quarterly adjusted, 38.6 million, an improvement of 38% versus Q2 of 2023. So year over year improvement. That's good. And improvement of 20% versus Q1 of this year. So I like that. Adjusted net loss per share was 61 cents. Now, keep in mind, their loss per share in Q1 of 2024 was $1.13. So there are signs of improvement here. So that's kind of what we want to see when a stock's been not really doing well fundamentally. We want to see the quarter, the earnings data each quarter, and then see kind of what the year over year growth is. Are they actually improving year over year and quarter after quarter? Well, it looks like Canoe is, even though the numbers aren't really good still, but they are. The bad numbers are getting better, if that makes sense. So reduced totally quarterly cash outflow by 39 million or 49%. So that's good. So the cash going out has been reduced. So investors want to see that. Relocating headquarters from California to Texas. All right, so they got the heck out of Cali. No offense to Cali people, but they got out of there and moved to Texas. We've seen a lot of companies doing that. And continued migration to our Oklahoma City and prior Oklahoma facilities. So successfully concluded Red Sea global pilot in extreme terrains and climatic conditions. Advanced our customer acquisition of large commercial fleets in the U.S., UK, and Middle East, which allows us to take advantage of our right and left hand drive products. Received 50 containers of arrival, UK assets year to date. Okay, cool. So I mean the numbers they look good, but let's see. Let me go back to the 1 minute chart on. Okay, so yeah, it's just very sporadic. I mean, TradingView. This is the 1 minute chart on TradingView. It doesn't even look like anything. So that's why I always have Webull pulled up on the side just in case I need to see what their candles look like. But yeah, very spotty price action. They had 4.39 million volume today. Average volume 3.76 million. So they had more volume than normal, but just not really a whole lot of volume. Their float's 69.3 million. Not quite sure 4 million in volume is really gonna push that. But like I say, still got a buy side imbalance on the order book, so we'll keep our eye on that and just really no volume there. So let's go back to the sticks on Cisco. It's holding up pretty well here, kind of in consolidating mode right now, possibly for another leg up. Basically looking for $48.23 to break here in after hours. So maybe it potentially goes back up there and makes a new after hours high, right? So one thing we could do just real quick, just so we have kind of a bird's eye view. I'm going to go right at the bottom of this green candle here. I'm going to draw it to the top. So about $47.60. That's going to be basically your 25% retrace, and that's kind of where it's bottoming out right now after this initial pump. Mohammed on YouTube says, good work. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for joining us in the stream. Like I say, I do this every Wednesday. Usually get 500 to 1,000 people tuning in, and just kind of, going over the earnings, data that's being released on. I usually pick 2 stocks every week. Also, don't forget, I'm going to be going over my NVIDIA trade after I'm done yapping my mouth about all these 2 stocks here. But basically, GOEV is like watching paint dry, so not really any action going on there. So I'm probably just going to focus on Cisco. Going into the earnings on Cisco, they had a PE ratio of 12.126. Nice and positive. Something you can do later is maybe compare that PE ratio to their peers and their competitors, kind of see where they fall in the range of PE. Maybe help determine, is their PE a little too high because maybe they're overvalued, or, compared to their competitors, or is their PE ratio too low and there's room for growth with the PE there. Are they undervalued? Those kind of things. But, just kind of a bird's eye view. 12.126 seems pretty solid. They do pay a 3.52% dividend. Also, Mohammed says Cisco is cybersecurity play now. Yes, I like it. And I was reading some news reports about Cisco that they've been testing a lot of their stuff in like different environments and stuff like that. It was one of the articles I was reading earlier. And then Cisco. Okay, so after they acquired Splunk, when they did that acquisition, that definitely helped them. Cisco is a solid company. I mean, this definitely gets a green check mark in my book. This is something I wouldn't mind holding, like in a longer term Vanguard account or something like that. And as I go over these fundamentals and financials, it's going to be very clear that that's the case. But nice solid PE ratio, EPS 297. That's great. Okay, that's trailing 12 months, but still. And again, the cherry on top with the dividend, 3.5%. They're sitting on a 4.03 billion float. But again, this is a great company. So solid on the PE and EPS front, and they pay a dividend. Debt to asset, 66%, kind of just ping ponging, from 69 to 53, and now sitting at 66. They're definitely not over leveraged as the company. They got plenty of assets to take care of any debts that might need solved, in an emergency situation. And yeah, also on Muhammad on YouTube, I agree. Very, very safe dividend payer here, I think. So this is GOEV, by the way. So let me go to Cisco. I had the wrong ticker there. Sorry about that. But yeah, PE ratio, EPS, dividend, all on Cisco. Now let me go to the balance sheet on Cisco. Okay, 62%. So still solid. As long as that debt to asset ratio is not over 100%, I'm usually good to go there. And let's look at the income statement quarterly. Yeah, so I mean, this is a quarterly billion-dollar profitable company. Looks like they're kind of, at a high around 4 billion, and then down here to 1.89 billion. But still very much a profitable company. It's just one thing I like to look at on the income statement is make sure they're making money, right? If they have a negative net income, you might want to think twice about holding that long term. Maybe just a short swing or day trade it or something. But yeah, let's look at the okay. So yeah, assets, 123 billion assets. It's only 77 billion in liabilities. I mean, not only, 77 billion is a lot, but compared to the assets, that's pretty good there. Let's look at the quant. Okay, so basically, as far as the quant goes, mixture of income and quality with a little dash of value and growth. Momentum is kind of on the low side, but no worries there. Overall, I like the company. and even looking at it like on the weekly or the monthly chart. I mean, this actually would be a great company just to whip out iron condors on, like every quarter or something. And that's basically slapping a credit spread on top of the price and then putting a credit spread below the price. So above the price, you'd have the call credit spread. Below the price, you got the put credit spread. In essence, you're trapping the price of Cisco in the middle because it's not really a big mover. It's not really a big volatile mover. And that would just be a good way to make double income on the trade instead of just doing one. A lot of people are biased and okay, I'm bullish on Cisco, so I'll just do a put credit spread below the price at a support level, and yeah, that's going to generate some income, and that's great. But a stock like this that kind of trades. I mean, this thing's been trading sideways for the past 6 months. I mean, it's got a little ups and downs, but look at the range. It's basically $49 to $44. I mean, just the $5 range, just kind of ping ponging in there. But yeah, instead of just doing a put credit spread, if you're bullish, instead of doing a put credit spread underneath the price, slap a call credit spread on the top above resistance, maybe above $50, and see how many times you can churn that out and produce some income for yourself. So that's kind of something I would do. I would be interested in doing with Cisco. Let's look at the institutional. Okay, so in the past 1 month, 15 institutions have added a position. That's good. And 82% owned by the institutions. So there has been some institutions decrease their position, but if the big money is confident in the stock, that's usually going to give you a good indication that okay, it's probably a good safer bet compared to some of these other stocks that we look at, right? So anyways, that was Cisco. Again, Canoe, GOEV, not moving at all, just kind of sitting there. We read a little bit of their earnings data earlier, which seemed positive with their year-over-year numbers in the comparison of the current earnings that were just released to the previous quarters were all good. There's just no movement. So Canoe's not getting any love in after hours right now. Maybe investors are still digesting the earnings data, and maybe we see a move later tonight in the last part of after hours, or maybe we see a pre-market move, or maybe we see a move during the day tomorrow. But so far, there's just nothing going on there. Let me go back intraday on Cisco. All right, so it actually did just make a new after hours high. We were just talking about that. I drew my fib on there to basically $48 down to here, and it basically held the 25% retrace as a base and consolidated sideways, what we like to call maybe accumulation phase, kind of entered a consolidation accumulation phase, and then boom, made the new high in after hours, $48.52. So for anyone that wants to keep watching this for after hours, just draw Fibonacci at the bottom of this green candle where the earnings got released, and then draw it up to the high here, $48.52, and just kind of get some levels from a bird's eye view. You can quickly glance at to see, is this thing actually retracing back down, or is it making higher lows? And maybe we get a sweet trend day out of it tomorrow. We'll see. Matter of fact, that reminds me, I want to double check the economic data for tomorrow. Of course, we had PPI yesterday, which came in good, beat forecast, so that was good. The CPI that came in today basically came in line. Market Watch saying it came in at 2.9%. The forecast was 3%. So it came in a little bit better. But not really much. Okay, 0.1 difference. In my opinion, that's kind of in line. It did beat by a little bit, which is why we saw what was going on with SPY today. Let me just pull up the SPY chart here. Just kind of zoom out and go to a bigger time frame. 15 minutes, good to glance at. So SPY had a beautiful run yesterday off the backs of PPI data, actually gapped up in pre-market, filled the gap in pre-market as well, and then just went on a huge trending day. You could have just bought calls in the morning and rode them all day and moved your stop loss up along the way. And then we got the CPI data this morning before market open. it actually, it was a little volatile because it did kind of wick down after that data got released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, but ended up wicking up as well and ended up printing a green candle. And then that market opened, we did get some selling, and actually today was kind of a whiplashy kind of day, but overall ended higher, right? Because SPY's up 0.32%. Was up 0.32% during the day today. So that's what we had on SPY. Let me just go back to here. Also, let me not forget about Cisco. Okay, Cisco looking like it wants to make another high. I mean, this thing is not letting up. Let me just look down here at some things. Okay. There's a strong sell rating on trading. I don't really take that with a grain of salt, but basically analysts were neutral on this going into earnings. But obviously investors are liking the earnings data. And again, it closed at $45.44, trading a little above $48 right now. Got some people celebrating on Twitter saying it's partying like it's the year 2000. Okay, they must have had calls, I would think. All right, so Q4 revenue for Cisco, 13.6 billion. EPS, let's see, 0.54 with the gap and then 0.87 with the non-gap. Q4 product order growth, 14% year over year. That's the Cisco data I was looking for, is the growth numbers. So Q4 product order growth, 14%, up 14% year over year. And outside, not including Splunk, the Splunk acquisition, they are still up 6% year over year. So even if you take Splunk out of the equation, they still showed growth. So that's good. That's good. And don't forget that dividend. So let me see here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any news releases. Okay, this is directly from the newsroom from Cisco. So this is straight out of the horse's mouth right here. And it's basically just a lot of the info we've already gone over. But I wanted to see what their growth was on the software side, which was enhanced by Splunk, and it came in pretty solid. So they're saying solid growth in software and recurring metrics in fiscal year 2024 enhanced by Splunk. So just goes to show that Splunk acquisition was a very, very smart move by the higher ups there over at Cisco. So congrats to them for making that decision to follow through with that acquisition, because it's definitely helping their numbers, as you can see from this earnings data that we're getting. Total subscription revenue, 27.4 billion, including Splunk, representing 51% of total revenue was just their subscription revenue. So that's great. Total annualized recurring revenue, so the ARR, 29.6 billion, including 4.3 billion from Splunk. So that was a nice chunk that Splunk added to their ARR. That's up 22% year over year. So this is why, folks, this is why we're getting a positive reaction to the earnings. The growth is there. Investors are forward looking, and they have the data to back it up. Okay. Let's see here. I just want to see. Okay, here's the guidance. All right. So they did raise guidance. Okay, and that's just the kind of like the golden egg, right? So they beat EPS, beat revenue, and raised forward guidance. So Q1 fiscal year 2025 guidance, they raised from 13.65 billion to 13.85 billion. So nice 0.20 billion. Basically 200 million, right? So they raised Q1 guidance for next year by 200 million. That's fantastic. Investors love seeing that. And earnings per share, they also raised from, now this is Q1 of next year, they raised from 35 to 42. So investors are just having a party right now. Whoever was long on this before, this is something where, I think this is probably going to hold up. We might even get continuation, tomorrow, that we can maybe get a trend day out of it. We could play. Those are the easy trades, right? The full fiscal year 2025 guidance, they raised from 55 billion to 56.2 billion. So they added another 1.2 billion on there. That's pretty impressive. Earnings per share, $1.93. They increased to 205. So basically raised guidance across the board, beat EPS, beat revenue, that is going to be a perfect recipe for bullishness. And, we should see this trend up higher. Just kind of curious, the bigger time frames, weekly time frame. Okay, this thing was trading in the 60s a couple years ago. Okay, let's see here, $58 in September of 2023. So about a year ago, they were trading around $58 was the high. So in after hours right now, they're trading at $48. So, this is very positive news for Cisco. Like I say, they beat EPS, beat revenue, raised Q1 2025 forward guidance, raised fiscal year 2025 guidance. I mean, it's just a recipe for awesomeness if you're long on this. Okay. And like I was just saying a couple moments ago, they were at $50 about a year ago. So if this continues to trend up, that might be a place to maybe start taking some profit, or at least start moving your stop up. Could be some resistance there. We'll see. We'll see if it's a level of interest or not. Sometimes the data is just so positive that just will blast right through it. We don't know yet. No one knows the future. If someone tells you they know, they're full of crap and they're blowing smoke. What we're trying to do here is just maybe pick out some levels and try and have a plan in place before we put our hard-earned money into anything. Know how much we're willing to risk, know how much profit we're looking to get out of it. Depending on the trade, definitely try and keep your risk reward in check there, and just try and get a little bit of an edge so we can make money. All right. So here we go. Let me go back to just want to check the order book on okay, slight buy side imbalance. Buyers kind of running out of steam a little bit, but I mean, the candlesticks look pretty good. Possible bearish divergence on the 1 minute. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It's the 1 minute chart. But if I was day trading this, that would be something of note. RSI on the first pump was at 94, and now it's continuing to make new highs, and the RSI is down to 68. So just something to keep note if you are trying to day trade this in after hours. There's a little bit of divergence there, but maybe that gets invalidated because of just all the great news and we get another wave of buyers piling into the trade. We'll see. But good info there. GOEV actually making a move. Very, very spotty price action, but that's because the volume's so low. But it is up over 6%. Okay, they were down 6% today, so they're kind of just back to baseline, if you will, right? But they are seeing some buyers stepping into the picture here, and do got buy side imbalance there on the book. So it's just kind of slowly, creeping up with some very, very spotty, ugly price action, but it's positive. What time is it? Almost 4:30. All right, let me go over that NVIDIA trade real quick. Let me pull up my Fidelity account real quick, and I'll show everyone what's been going on with that, because I sold a $110 cash secured put on NVIDIA not too long ago, and collected over $400 for it. So it was a nice, sweet trade. I'll keep Cisco over here on the left if anyone's still kind of watching that. But let me pull up NVIDIA, and my expiration date is this Friday. So basically how that trade works, I sold a cash secured put. It was the $110 put, and let me just pull my Fidelity account over so everyone can see it. Okay, so here's the trade here. This is my Fidelity account. Got an individual account, which is my margin account, and I also have a LLC account connected to one of my brick and mortar businesses that I have here in Florida. But anyways, this NVIDIA account I did on my this NVIDIA trade. I sold the 110 put. You can see right here, quantity -1. That means I sold to open it. Collected $416 minus commission. $415 is the credit I got. Up 94%. In any other situation, I would have took profit on this today because that's $392. But I actually want to start wheeling NVIDIA. So I'm just gonna, it expires in 2 days. So I'll get there. What do I got left to get out of it? Another $25 or something. That's like, yeah, right here, $23. I still got left to get out of it. So the only reason why I am not taking profit on it is because I don't mind accepting assignment. Because if Nvidia does fall below 110 on Friday, yes, I will get assigned Nvidia shares. But since I collected over $4.15 there on that contract, which is in the option world, of course, this is over $400. Since I collected that money when I sold it, yeah, I get assigned at the 110, but my cost basis is only going to be like $105 and some change, right? I don't mind owning Nvidia at 105, okay? And then what I'll do now, there's two scenarios that can happen with this cash secured put on Friday. Number one, it stays above 110, and I just keep I collect 100% of this $415 goes right into my pocket. They can't take it away from me at that point. And then boom, I'm already up over $400 on the video, right, for this trade. That's scenario number one. And if that does happen, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to sell another Nvidia put, and on this trade, I think I went 3 weeks or 2 weeks out or something. So this Friday is the 16th, so maybe I go to August 30th. And then, as you can see here, I can sell another 110 for around $400, $385. I can maybe just go to September 6th, maybe a 3-week trade, $110 put selling for looks like last price was $435. But my point is if Nvidia is above 110 on Friday, I keep this $415, goes right into my pocket. Then on Monday, I'll sell another 110 put, and I just showed y'all I can bring in another $400 to $500, something around there, probably low 400s. And then now I've collected over $800 in income on this Nvidia trade. And look and then what if I get threatened on my next 110 put? Well, I got so much cushion already built up. I've collected over $8 in credit, which is $800. And if I do get assigned on that second round of the 110 put, I don't care. My cost basis on Nvidia will be $102. And then if that happens, I'll just sell covered calls. I'll probably just I'll keep targeting the 110s. So if I do get assigned at 110 on my second round, my cost basis will be around $102, and then I'll sell $110 calls. Because obviously, if I get assigned at 110, then the price of Nvidia is going to be below 110. But let's say it's trading right below 110, and then I can just whip out an at the money covered call. You guys can see right here firsthand what they're paying. The at the money, well, a little bit out of the money calls here, but right at the money, paying over $700. So shoot, they want to assign me at 110. I'll take it. I'll have a 102 cost basis. Then I'll sell the 110 calls, which should be close to at the money if Nvidia's dropped to 110. But the at the money calls for 3-week hold, paying over $700. That'll be the total income brought in on that trade to almost $1,600. Getting close to that $2,000 mark there on profit. And that's kind of how we're going to just consistently reduce our cost basis on Nvidia and just kind of see how this plays out. So those are kind of the two scenarios with the Nvidia trade. Also got this JetBlue put here, up 55% on that, but that's more of a hedge because I was selling cash secured puts on JetBlue. Obviously, everyone saw JetBlue kind of sell off recently because they did that the note offering. But that's okay because I had a downside hedge in place and I'm up quite a few $100s on that. So that helped protect me there. So pretty happy I had the hedge in place. And that's also another thing I've started doing with any of the open positions that I have that I am writing contracts on is I'm buying longer dated put options with expiration dates after the election. That way I'm fully protected no matter what happens. My downside is covered. everyone out, not everyone else, but other traders that have not started to put hedges in place and buying longer dated insurance. If something happens and we do get that market, the full market correction, which would be 10% from the highs, right? Which we haven't even experienced the full correction. What was happening, a couple of weeks ago, or whatever, when the market started selling off, people were calling it a correction, but we're not even in correction territory yet. Correction would be SPY around 510. That obviously didn't happen, so we haven't even had a market correction. But my point is it was a little scary, and y'all, I'm sure agree with me. It was a little scary to see the market, take a 5-6% haircut, over the course of 2 days, and a lot of people were kind of worried, and but if you have insurance in place or hedges in place, it really didn't affect me much. Okay, my total account balance didn't really change much because my hedges were making up for the loss my longs were taking. So it's a beautiful thing. And by the way, this is the kind of stuff I teach in the Discord. So if anyone's interested and maybe you're looking for a new home, check out the link in the description. It's a free link to join. You don't got to pay to join. So you can join the free section. Tons of info and education in there, and then you can kind of go from there. But that's basically what I teach in the Discord. I'm the coach, if you will. That I teach mainly advanced option strategies, which means multi-leg options. I do a lot of spreads, but I basically write a lot of contracts. That's the type of trading that I do, and I target weekly and monthly income. Okay, so I use this to generate income. So if you're interested in looking for a new home, come check us out. Give us a shot. If you like it, you're probably gonna love it. All right. But with that said, it's about 4:40 now. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. Got over 450 people tuning in on. I bet a lot of it's on Twitter, but we do have quite a few people on YouTube. And let's see, and we had a bunch of people in the Discord. So probably over 500 people tuned in to this stream. But again, I do this every Wednesday. So Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And so that's all I got for tonight. It was nice chatting with everybody. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening. And if you do end up joining our Discord, my name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. And if you do join, I look forward to meeting you. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your night. And I'll see everyone later. Cheers.